The topics and opinions expressed in the following show are solely those of the host and their guests and not those of W4CY Radio, its employees, or affiliates. We make no recommendations or endorsements for radio show programs, services, or products mentioned on air or on our web. No liability, explicit or implied, shall be extended to W4CY Radio or its employees or affiliates. Any questions or comments should be directed to those show hosts. Thank you for choosing W4CY Radio.
Are you a songwriter? Are you looking to turn your songwriting passion into a full-time gig? Whether you are just at the start of your songwriting journey or a seasoned industry professional, this show is made for you. Welcome to the Songwriter Show, bringing together songwriting news, interviews, and community. Now, welcome your host, Sarantos.
Welcome back, everyone. I want to thank you all for tuning in. I'm your host, Sarantos, a solo music artist who's been writing lyrics for as long as I can remember. Words are always so important to me, and that's why I'm so thrilled to host this show for you every Tuesday night live. I believe that every song is a story. The Songwriter Show is broadcast live on number one ranked W4CY Radio with listeners in all 206 countries in the world and every state in America. The station is also licensed with ASCAP, BMI, CSAC, Sound Exchange, and has partnerships throughout the music industry, including iHeartRadio and exposure to over 300 million listeners. Tonight's first and only guest is Gullymarc. He solidified his presence and career professionally as a singer and a writer for Atlantic record artists while at Mean Street in Atlanta. With his breakout hit, Game Over, on Spotify's Fresh Finds, the Wave editorial playlist, he's amassed over 450,000 streams on Spotify in 2019 alone. Having been streamed in 76 countries from Brazil to Israel to the Philippines, in combination with receiving nationwide radio play, Gullymarc instantly and single-handedly made himself a new artist to watch in 2020. His new single, Real One, featuring Zara and Michael, will be available March 6th, which is very, very soon here. Welcome to the show, Gullymarc. How are you doing tonight?
I'm doing all right. How are you?
I'm doing well, my friend. So did I say your name right? Is that how you say it?
I don't think you can really mess that up. You know, it's really spelled phonetically. You know, if you mess that up, do you even English?
That's a very catchy and interesting name. Tell us the origin of that. How'd you figure, or how'd you decide to call yourself that?
Well, my government name is Marcus, and so my last name is Garlington. And in high school, or even before that, elementary school, middle school, people used to make fun of my last name. But there was a time, I think there was one person who was calling me like Gullington or Gullyton or whatever they did. And so kind of that identity, it took, it just kind of, it kind of grew legs. And I kind of accepted that as who I was. So that's been like my online moniker for a really long time. And now that I'm an artist, it's very easy to trademark. Nobody else is going by that. So
yeah.
Well,
that's
kind of
that's important.
Yeah, definitely. Helps with the branding. When I tell people one word.
Yeah, it's kind of interesting when people sometimes call themselves something, and you check online, or you just want to go look at their Facebook page or their Instagram, and you search, and it's just a million, George Michaels or some generic name. But I think having a unique name is very, very smart. You there?
I'm there. I'm sorry,
okay.
I didn't hear you.
I thought I lost you for a second.
You said something. That was the last thing I heard.
Yeah, I said it's a very unique name, and it's interesting and a good idea to have a unique name so people can search you pretty easily. Yeah,
I think so.
Tell us a little bit about. Tell us a little bit about when you first got started in music. How old were you?
Man, I might have been maybe 5 or 6. I mean, from the time that I could talk, I really just started yelling, and yelling turned into singing. And, I wanted to be an actor. I wanted to be a star. So I did some plays. Plays turned into musical theater. And then I kind of found out, that, I have a better singing voice than most. And the more I started to kind of explore that, the more I really, felt and believed that, wow, this is my calling. This is my purpose. This is something that I'm meant to do. So here we are 25 years later.
Yeah. what would you say is your main musical instrument? Is it your voice?
Definitely my voice. And I can call it that because I arrange my voice, as you'll probably hear when we play the song. I arrange my voice like anyone would arrange an instrument, like a guitar or a piano. I do a lot of things with my voice other than just, sing like main lyrics.
Yeah, wonderful. Any other instruments that you dabble in or, when you arrange?
Maybe the piano.
Okay.
I play the piano. I used to play the trumpet when I was a kid, but I don't really do that anymore. But I can get behind the piano, give you some chops, play "Stay" by Rihanna.
All right. What was the first tune you learned on the piano?
The first tune, "Mary Had a Little Lamb." I think everybody learns "Mary Had a Little Lamb" first.
Yeah.
Because it's only 4 or 5 notes. It's very easy to play.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's one of those universal melodies like Happy Birthday that everybody just kind of recognizes.
Mm-hmm. Wish I had the dexterity though, man. I'm so clumsy. I don't know. My fingers, they get clammy and sweaty, and it was just very frustrating. But I do what I can.
Yeah. Do you mix or arrange your own work like in Logic or Pro Tools, or do you have someone you work with that takes care of that part of it?
I am. How would I explain that process? It's more of like a dictation. So I will sit behind them and I will tell them what I want to go where, how I want it to sound, nudge that back, push this forward, bring this up clearer, drown that out a little bit more, that type of thing. So, I have the knowledge of what I want it to be. I just don't have the technical skill to transform it into that.
Yeah, absolutely. No, I totally get it. So, nowadays, ever since Billie Eilish, there's this whole wave of people that make music in their homes versus studios. It sounds like you always do your stuff in the studio.
Yeah, I feel like the studio is kind of like the library. It's hard to do your homework at home when you got the TV and you got snacks and, you can do whatever you want when you feel like it. But when you go to the library, it's time to get to work. You're going to make that time count. And I'm one of those people where I need to kind of be in the zone and have no distractions. I feel like the studio is a very, very purposeful place for me, and I'm able to get a lot done because, I feel that energy.
Yeah, absolutely. Would you describe your family as musical?
My family is very spiritual, and they all go to church. My dad's side, he had a lot of family members who sang in church, and they actually formed like gospel groups. I wasn't really close to them, but I've witnessed them. I've seen what they do, and maybe that's been passed on to me genetically. But as far as like my mom, singing to me in her womb and like giving me precious lullaby from her own mouth, no, they're not that.
Yeah. Okay.
That's my gift, my purpose. It's something that I have all on my own.
Yeah. What would you say is your fondest musical memory growing up?
My fondest, let's see. Okay, so there was a time I was in the Kansas City Boys Choir from the time I was maybe in the 4th grade until I graduated high school. Shout out to Ollie Robinson. And we had a summer concert at this huge church on our outdoor shopping plaza called Community Christian. So it's a huge church, and it's very beautiful inside. So we're having our summer concert. I'm in the 5th grade, and the theme was like patriotism. It was some kind of like 4th of July special or whatever. And so I ended up singing "Proud to be an American, or at least that song." Yeah. I was in the 5th grade, and I kind of just like let it rip. Like my alto tenor was on point. My voice was crystal clear. Puberty hadn't happened yet, so I just sounded amazing, and I belted to the top of my lungs. And by the time that I was done, everyone was on their feet, standing, clapping. Wow. And so that was when I knew, like, okay, we got smoke here.
That's awesome, man. I'm sure you get chills just thinking about that moment.
When you talk to a lot of artists and like anyone who's ever kind of done anything creatively, like there's a moment where something like transcendental happens, and it's like they're chasing that, their whole career, and like that's a feeling that when I'm feeling like I know that I'm doing something right, I'm going in the right direction. Like I know that I've done the best that I can. So when I get that kind of reaction and I have that kind of feeling, I feel unstoppable, and that was the first time that I had it.
Yeah, that's very cool. It sounds like it. Are you influenced at all by old records and tapes? And if so, which ones?
Absolutely. I love the Temptations. I love Etta James. I love Smokey Robinson. I mean, really anything Motown put out, Marvin Gaye, Diana Ross, that was kind of what was bumping in my house. And then also gospel. I hear that, my runs and my riffs are very gospel-esque. That was all that my mother really let me listen to. And so like the more secular things I would hear at my grandmother's house when she's cleaning, she had LPs and she would put them on. But yeah, between the old school Motown and classic gospel hits and hymns and other kind of gospel arrangements, however I could really listen to it, those are the kinds of tunes that really influence me. So things that are really musical and really based on, instrumentation, whether it's vocal instrumentation or other kind of instrumentation. And, gospel singers are amazing performers. They're just, I feel like that's just some of the best, most raw, emotional music that you can come across.
Yeah, I completely agree with you. In fact, vocally, I think I personally have tried to learn from some of the stuff they've done because I think exactly, you hit on the head, very powerful, very rhythmic, very, it's just amazing. It's amazing to listen to.
Yeah. I mean, even if you're not spiritual, it just the compositions just give me chills, the talent, and then the way that it's so, what's the word that I'm looking for? The way that it can be so spontaneous. It's like, damn, you have to have so much talent to just be, for everyone to be in tune and just, it's alchemy. It's magical. I definitely love it.
Well, I grew up in the church too, and I was in choir a little bit and altar and all these kinds of things. And it's amazing because it's, for me, even though I listen to other music at the same time, there's nothing about putting that environment all together, the smell, the sight, the hymns, the choirs. It definitely is something special, I think.
Mm-hmm. Agreed.
So let's move on a little bit. Tell us if you could pick any musician that you'd want to sing with, jam with, dead or alive, who'd you pick if you could pick one?
Dead or alive? Woo! This is a tough one. Oh,
I thought with your expression there, you were picking Michael Jackson. That was almost like a Michael.
He crossed my mind, but that wouldn't be me being true to who I'm really a fan of. Can I do one living and one dead? I don't think that's
absolutely. Fair. Yeah, that's fine.
Okay. God rest her soul, the incomparable Whitney Houston.
Oh yeah.
Just the voice, the control. I mean, the showmanship, the feist. She was a force to be reckoned with, definitely. I don't know if there will ever be another. There might be a voice that can sound like her and can do what she does, but just the fire, the passion, there's just something I get from watching her performances, watching her eyes dart, watching her attitude in interviews. It's just so she was such a star. And there's something to be learned from her, definitely.
She was so effortless too, back in the beginning before her voice and her nose got fried. I mean, she was unbelievable.
And so young, it just makes me go like, what am I doing with my life? I'm not sounding like that. I'm practicing more. I should be, but I get a lot. And she's someone who's been influenced by gospel music too. Yeah. So I'm glad. Something that we share. I think most vocalists, that's a genre of music that you can't ignore if you want to be a supreme vocalist. And as far as supreme vocalists go, her tone, her control is just it's more than remarkable, more than extraordinary. it's like a once in a lifetime talent, once in a generation, you know.
Sure.
But going to a live, man, I would say, of course, Beyonce.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
With Beyonce, I mean, first of all, I'm gonna be rich as I could ever be. But she's also extremely talented. She has amazing vocal control. And yeah, she's a vocalist who would definitely take anything that I do to the next level, and I would be so elated to have the opportunity to work with someone as talented as her.
Yeah. Before I ask you this next question, I just want to point out, by pure coincidence, obviously, I, like most people, am a Netflix fan. I have a DVD in front of me that just came today, Whitney. So this is the 2-hour documentary of Whitney Houston. So I haven't seen it yet, but I've the previews and everything look great about it. So I definitely am looking forward to it.
You should. The drama. Ooh, yeah. The drama.
Have you seen it or no?
I did. I watched it on a flight to, where the hell was I going? It was a long flight. I think I was going to Anguilla. I think I was going to Anguilla. Okay. I watched it on Anguilla.
All right.
And yeah, definitely taught me some things I didn't know.
Cool. Do you ever get nervous before a performance or competition?
Performance, yes. Competition, absolutely, heck yes. Like, I think when it comes to performing, you always want people to like you, but I think it's better for me because I know that those people are there for me. I know they're going to lift me up. I know that they're going to, they're there to support me and give me love and energy, and I pay them back by putting on a show. I think I feel like that. And the competitions, God, I hate competitions. And I'm kind of at a point where like I'm kind of done doing those types of things because, what I've been able to accomplish on my own, just by my own talent, like without having to have anyone co-sign me or give me an award or whatever, I've accomplished so much on my own that like I don't need to prove myself in that way. I've already proved who I am and what I'm capable of. So yeah, I hate competing.
Yeah, I hear you. Tim, one of our listeners, says that he hears something special in your voice. So I think just by talking to you, in a couple minutes we're going to hear your song. But people can definitely tell that you can carry a tune, I think.
Thank you, Tim. Well, I had to drop that little proud to be an American really quick.
Yeah. Tell us.
You got to stay ready.
Yeah, absolutely. Tell us your contact information. Like, what's your website? Where can people hear your stuff?
Sure. You can follow me and listen to me anywhere at Gullymarc. That's GULLYMARC. No spaces. Gullymarc. GULLYMARC. No spaces. Gullymarc.com. Gullymarc on Instagram, on Spotify, Apple Music, Tidal, wherever you like. YouTube. I got 2 videos out. Another one coming in 2.5 weeks. Awesome.
So now tell us about this song we're going to hear in 2 minutes. What inspired it? What do you want us to know about it?
This song, I think this is a song that everyone can relate to. I'm a Pisces. I'm very empathetic. I'm just a kind, genuine person. And because of that, I've been taken advantage of, So this was really a song for me to kind of express man, who check who you have around you, know what's going on, know who has your back, know who's really there for you, and be vigilant, support and uplift the ones who are there for you, and pay dust to the ones who are just there along, for the ride.
Wonderful. All right, I'll tell you what, we're going to take a listen to your song, and then we'll come back and we'll talk about, about the song and about some other stuff too, okay?
Okay.
All right, so here we go. Take a listen to Gullymarc's new song.
Yeah, it's super. I'm glad you hit me for this one. They turn their backs on us, but the game ain't over. Look, go. Dark things just cloud my mind and my body. Tell me how you really riding shoddy. Say that I'm the best, who will you be? I'm in the streets, that's ST. Will you take sides or will you come and be beside me? S-Class, I drive only creme de la creme. Big rings like a wedding. Best men went from debt to destined. I make green from spin white, ranch dressing, and give people my life because the real is what's impressive. Went from taking L's and now the logo is the Lexus. College dropout like it's pink polos in my press kit. Greatest activated, Gully hit me so I pressed it. Now it's no more Scullies, my niggas was young and reckless. Finna hit my Dougie cause she curved me, now she texting. Your words come second cause your actions prove less than. When I did take L's, then I turned them to lessons. Cause words like love and loyalty began my stress.
You when you're super gone. And even when you're losing, who's still gonna be right there to cheer you on? Who's really riding for the team? And who's surviving off your dreams? I need to know before the deal's done. How many niggas on my squad really a real one? You never see me with too many. My circle never changed even though I'm taking over the city. If you need a nigga, hit me. Cause I'ma slide for my dogs, rather see my nigga winning. But there's a feeling mutual. You was nothing when I scooped you up. Then I put you on game, little nigga. Nothing was the same, little nigga. Go figure. I got the juice and now you acting like this. You tripping. Might pay with your life if you're not gon' pay attention. Cause the streets is rough, the same that you eat but still could eat you up. Cause loyalty is fleeting, meanwhile greed is up. So only rocking with you when your green is up. So you need to strap yourself. You probably need to ask yourself, who's gonna love you when you're gone? And even when you're losing, who's still gonna be right there to cheer you on? Who's really riding for the team? And who's surviving off your dreams? I need to know before the deal's done. How many niggas on my squad really a real one? Who can you trust for real though? Who's riding for the team? I'm pulling up with real ones, real around me. Who can you trust for real though? Who's riding for the team? I'm pulling up with real ones, real who's gonna love you when you're gone. And even when you're losing, who's still gonna be right there to cheer you on? Who's really riding for the team? And who's surviving off your dreams? I need to know before the deal's done. How many niggas on my squad really are real when you're gone? And even when you're losing, who's still gonna be right there to cheer you on? Who's really riding for the team? And who's surviving off your dreams? I need to know before the deal's done. How many niggas on my squad really are real one?
And now, welcome this week's special guest.
Well, that was quite an interesting song, Gullymarc. Gullymarc is also going to take our second guest spot here. I got to be honest, I agree with some of the listeners. Not exactly what I was expecting, but I definitely see both influences there. So tell us a little bit about what were you trying to do with the song?
Well, the song for me, it kind of really, fits where I am in life. I've moved down here to Atlanta, and things have been kind of popping up for me in the last year. So I've noticed a lot of people who weren't before attaching themselves to me, attempting to attach themselves to me. I've dealt with that kind of like in relationships. People are just coming back. I'm getting those "Hey, big head" texts and all kinds of things, and I'm just wondering, how much of this is because you really love and miss me, and how much of it is you see where I'm going or where I'm trying to go, and you want to be next to me when that happens. So that's kind of where the inspiration for the song came. The producer I met at the ASCAP Expo last year. If you guys have never gone to that, please go. It's a great opportunity to network or whatever. But I went, I met him. He sent me a pack. His name is Big Nut. And there was kind of like this West Coast vibey, like could be R&B, could be rap song that I really liked, which is what ended up being Real One. And when I played the track, over and over, the melody for the hook just kind of kept coming and, kept kind of writing itself. And so then I reached out to the rapper, Zara Michael. Love that kid. He's super talented. We got in the studio and we put all the finishing touches on it and knocked it out.
Wonderful. So Wayne is asking, what type of music would this song fit into? How would you answer that for him?
It's been really hard for me to pitch this song to all kinds of publications. Like there are, dedicated R&B blogs, and then there are dedicated, hip hop blogs. And so the R&B blogs don't feel like it's R&B enough. The hip hop blogs don't feel like it's hip hop enough.
Yeah.
It's okay. Like that's fine because, I feel like when I look back in 2 or 3 years, I can look back and look at my entire catalog, and it'll be a sound that is completely mine. Kind of like Drake has his own lane. You know Drake when you hear Drake. You know Rick Ross when you hear Rick Ross. You know what I'm saying? Like Carrie has her signature style. So I'm okay to kind of feel that to fill that lane and kind of ride it down the middle because at the same time that I'm influenced by huge vocals and fun vocal arrangements and all kinds of things like that. I'm influenced by all kinds of rap and hip hop music as well. It's the sound of my culture. If you can't tell, I'm obviously African American, but I think that this record kind of puts best of both worlds together in it for me.
Yeah, I agree with you, and I put out a song every single month, and I dabble in different genres, but next month the song coming out for me has like 4 genres in it. So, it's a mixed genre song, and I figured, okay, let's start with EDM, then do pop, then do, I think it's okay to dabble, and you're not going to, like you said, you're not going to appeal to everybody, but maybe you're on the forefront of something, and I don't think you should fit into some specific thing because everybody's making that kind of music. So, it is what it is.
I mean, my biggest thing as being a songwriter and artist is telling my story the way I want to, the way that appropriate to me, and that's kind of what this song is. I'm getting all the feedback from my publicist, and I'm like, yeah, well, that's their opinion, or that's his or her opinion. I have to, at the end of the day, I have to go to sleep with who I am. I have to wake up with who I am, and putting out this record is allowing me to do that. I'm not being anyone or trying to do anything that I'm not. I'm not trying to be anyone that's someone else. I can only be me. I can only say what's on my mind, what's on my heart, and hopefully there are people who can accept that and will appreciate it and will support it.
Yeah, absolutely. How often do you practice?
Like vocally?
Yeah.
I would say every day, all the time. I'm waking up, I'm humming something. I'm in the shower. I'm humming something. I'm in the car. I'm playing music. I'm singing along the top of my lungs. I'm in the kitchen. I'm cooking something up. I'm singing along. Like there's never a time where I'm not exercising my larynx. There's never a time when there's not some kind of musical something coming out of my mouth.
And
it's actually like, friends have said, like, yo, can you shut up? Like, you've been at this all day.
Yeah. Do you start with your melody? Is that kind of how you start your songs, or do you start with music, or how do you start?
I start with the beat, the music. So I guess because I do R&B and hip hop, like, we get beats. I don't know for when it comes to like people who write in pop or do country. I don't know how their process is. I feel like country people probably cook up a little bit more organically, like with actual instruments in the studio. But for me, I'll get a beat, and so like the song is the track is already finished, and it just all depends on if it speaks to me. If it speaks to me, I'm gonna know it because I'll be able to speak back. It's almost like the melody kind of falls like just out of the sky, like into my head, and then once I get the melody, it's like I put some words together, and then all of a sudden the words are just kind of coming, and they just really don't stop until I decide, like, okay, maybe I have something here. I'll arrange it, and I'll lay that, I'll lay some backgrounds, and then we have a song. But I like to do what comes naturally to me when I hear the beat, because if it comes naturally to me and it fits the beat, then it's going to make sense for people to sing, and it's going to be something that's going to get stuck in people's heads. So, yeah, I just let the beat speak. I speak back. And then we have finished products.
Yeah, that's cool. How do you figure out if a song is worth keeping, or if it's going to go in the trash heap, or if you're going to save it for the future?
Music is ever changing. Like the landscape of the industry and what people are putting out is always changing. So at the same time that I'm being true to myself, I have to look at a business standpoint and provide something that's current. So, there have been times where I've held something back, like, oh, this isn't the right time. Oh, I don't need to drop this, But there are also records, like my record, How It Feel. I got a feature from a guy named Marcellus Hamilton. He's super talented, based out of Brooklyn. And he was rapping on it, and so I kind of like rapped on it more. Like I rapped on it more than I would have had he not, blessed it so gracefully. But that is like my second highest like charting song. I want to say it might be my highest charting. No, I think it's my second highest charting song. But people love that song, and it was a song that I was very hesitant to release because I'm rapping on it. And so that song taught me the lesson that, I can be my own worst enemy, my own hardest critic. I've put out, I've recorded something that, is how do I say this? Listenable. It's listenable to it.
Sure.
I don't know. But I've recorded something that, it isn't complete garbage. And so I'm like, maybe I should just put it out. And the reaction when I put it out was just like insane. It was insane. Like I woke up one day and I just checked my stats, and I'm like, golly, this song is at 150,000 streams. And so, it just, I don't know. I'm trying to get over that and just start like putting stuff out and letting people tell me. And the more I put out, the more people be familiar with me, the more my sound will be developed to them. They'll be able to recognize me. So I don't think that it's a lose-lose. I think maybe a lot of us artists, we might overthink it sometimes. We are a vessel. We create, and we should just share and just detach from results, And there's someone there who that will resonate with.
Yeah. If you could watch only one genre of movies for the rest of the year, what genre would it be?
Definitely horror.
Horror, really? I did not peg you for it. Wow. That's interesting.
I love the blood and guts.
Wow. Okay, we've got from gospel to horror. Okay, what got you into that?
I've always been a fan of the occult. I know that's really weird. I don't want to say fan of the occult like I practice, in my little hearth in my backyard with my statues and stuff. I don't know that, but like, it was always something that was just so forbidden because I grew up in a kind of strict religious house. Like one time, my grandmother had given me a Harry Potter series. I loved Harry Potter. And when my mom found that I had that, she's like, oh no, give this back to her. Couldn't have that. But I grew up watching like Charmed and Buffy the Vampire Slayer. So when I would be getting ready for school at like 6 or 7 o'clock in the morning, Buffy the Vampire Slayer would be on. And then right after that would come Angel. Like Sarah Michelle Gellar was like, she woke me up every day. I love her so much. If you're listening, Sarah, please find me. Take a picture with me. But from that, she was in I Know What You Did Last Summer, great movie. I watched Charm, so Rose McGowan, she was in Scream. Scream is one of my all-time favorites. Quentin Tarantino was one of my favorite directors. I love Hateful Eight and Django and Kill Bill. He's not afraid to get bloody and gory and just, I love it.
I got to be honest. I absolutely Scream was the first couple were just like to me. It started its own genre. I just thought those were great to be able to make fun of them and to I totally respect what that series did.
So smart and they're so realistic. Like the way they pick apart, the way they pick apart the stereotypes in the genre is very funny. But they're at the same time that they're so aware. You still are just like entranced by the story because it's all kind of believable. Like the motives are believable, the characters are believable, what they're able to get away with and what they're not able to get away with. Like it just makes sense. It's a very, very smart movie. And I like movies that me feel like I have to be an idiot to enjoy them.
Yeah. What's your spirit animal?
Spirit animal. That's a good one. Let's go with, this is hard because I love animals and I don't know why I've never thought about this before. I want to say a dolphin.
Dolphin. Okay. Dolphins are cool.
It could be between like a dolphin and an octopus, but like dolphins, they're so smart. I love the water. I love to swim. And dolphins just like, they have fun. I don't know if you know this, but like dolphins have sex just because it feels good, which most animals only have sex to just like reproduce, but they have sex like they know, they're hip. They know that like sex is just great. So
I know that. No, that's interesting.
Dolphins, I see something in them, they see something in me. We're eye to eye on that. So I feel like if I could be an animal, I definitely want to be a dolphin.
Yeah. So Janella, one of our listeners, has a question for you. How much do you have out there? Try to think what she's asking about.
She means music. I think she meant music.
Yeah, I think she means music. Yeah.
I have 6 singles out there right now. Lucky number 7 is dropping on Friday, called Real One. But if you type in my name on YouTube, Spotify, Apple Music, that's GULLYMARC, Gullymarc, then you will be able to have it all at your fingertips, and you can listen at your leisure. Make sure you follow me too. Stay updated.
What do you think about when you're alone in the car most of the time?
What do I think about when I'm alone in the car? I need some freaking money. Is there money? Is there money where I'm headed, and how much is this going to cost wherever I'm going?
Yeah.
And that's if, sometimes I can be so deep in my head that like, I'll just start driving. I won't even like put on my seatbelt or even play music and like, just be thinking about money and stuff until I'm like, let me snap out of that, because who likes to be in their brain and thinking about money and finances? That's when I play music. And then I'm like, screaming at the top of my lungs, because really, that's really the only like super private moment I have, when there's no one who can hear me. I mean, people might be able to see me on the sidewalk or from the car next over, but my windows are tinted. So I feel like completely free to just, hit those high notes, to belt, to hit those low tones, to practice those runs. I do that in the car a lot because the sound system I have in my car is A1. So
cool. Is there something other than music that you work towards in your free time? A hobby or an interest or something?
I love to cook. I cook my tail off. I made some shrimp po' boys today. They were spectacular. But I really like to, that was something else I used to do when I was in elementary school. I would get off the bus. When I got home, Rachel Ray would be on TV. And so I would just be on like the Food Network, and I would have my computer, like my laptop in my lap, typing all of her instructions out. Like, I'm going to execute this. Maybe tomorrow, maybe the next day, somebody's going to have to take me to the store and buy all the ingredients. Cause at this point I'm like in the sixth grade, but I'm like, I'm going to make this turkey cacciatore. I'm going to make this whatever she was making. But I do love to cook. It's a passion of mine. It's something else that's like, when you spend hours in the studio and come out with a finished product that sounds just amazing, it's like the same, like being in the kitchen, having all the raw ingredients and just having the finesse to transform it into something that's delicious and fulfilling. And everybody's like, the sauce is dripping from the corner of their mouth. The room has got quiet and all you can hear is people chewing. Like, that fulfills me too. So maybe I'll open up a restaurant one day. I don't know.
Yeah. What's the craziest thing a boss has ever asked you to do?
The craziest thing a boss has ever asked me to do, this made me quit. I used to work for this company called The Roastery. It's a coffee company. And God, the owner was such like a control freak. So, they hired me because they liked my young black millennial perspective. But he wanted to start like, telling me, he was just like, he wouldn't allow me to do my job for the reason that you hired me to do it. And so then he asked me to start like reporting to him directly. And I was like, it's too much scrutiny. you can have it. Like, if you can just do it that much better than me, you can have it. You can do it. So I quit.
Sounds like a micromanager.
I didn't too much like that. And I had a manager. You know, I was reporting to the business manager. But then when she was like, yeah, such and such wants you to email him once a week and tell him I said, girl, I'm not doing that. So I my resignation that Friday. I gave it 2 weeks, and he was so mad that he said, you know what? Don't even worry about coming in. But they still paid me for the 2 weeks. They still paid. So,
what any favorite movies you've seen in the last few years that made you, laugh out loud? Like the funniest thing you've seen?
Oh, geez. The funniest thing I've seen. Dave Chappelle's stand-up.
Dave Chappelle's hilarious.
Sticks and Stones hilarious. But A24's production team deserves a nod because they did what's the movie? The one before Midsummer. Hereditary. Oh my God, Hereditary. It didn't make me laugh, but it was an amazing movie.
Yeah, okay. If they gave you free reign and you could teach a college course on any subject you want, what would you teach?
If I could teach anything, I think it would be a literary course. How to interpret and or apply the types of things that are discussed in like Wuthering Heights or like Shakespeare or those types of books. How they apply to now. I studied Latin for 6 years, and so I have a deep love for language and words, and it's probably how I ended up getting into this anyway. But some of those classic epic poems, like the writers like Ovid and Virgil, getting those translations and like discussing those and seeing how current all of those themes are even still, it's just like, wow, humanity is amazing. You know, it sometimes amazes me. Yeah, that'd be the course I teach.
All right. What kind of free gets do you most crave?
What kind of what?
Free gets do you most crave?
Free gets? What's that?
It's like a slang term. Like if you could get something for free, you know, like free food, free theater tickets. Like what?
Get something for. Man, I love the movies. That free theater tickets would be amazing, but like free gas. Come on.
It's hard to pass up free gas, huh? All right, my friend. Tell us your website and your contact info one last time here before we let you go.
Sure deal. My name is Gullymarc. That's GULLYMARC. GULLYMARC. You can follow me on Instagram at Gullymarc. You can search my name on Tidal, on Apple Music, on Spotify at Gullymarc. You can visit gullymarc.com. You can text me at... No, I'm just kidding. Don't text me. But do DM me. Do DM me. Let's talk business, folks.
All right, Gully. It was an absolute pleasure having you on the show, man. It was a blast, and I wish you nothing but the best.
I appreciate you, Sarantos, man. Let's not be strangers. Let's do this again sometime, yeah?
Yeah, absolutely. Anytime, my friend. All right. So I want to thank Gully for being on the show tonight. I hope you had as much fun as I did. In closing out the show, I want to let everyone out there, if you're an artist and you want to be on the Songwriter Show, please feel free to reach out to me. Thank you to all the listeners out there. I hope every single person's unique story gets heard around the world. My name is Sarantos. Please join me every Tuesday night to hear other amazing artists share their fascinating behind-the-scenes stories right here at the Songwriter Show. And tonight I'm going to leave you with a song that just came out yesterday for me. It's called The Doctor. It's a song about what a doctor goes through. They sacrifice their youth for school and training. Most start practicing well after the age of 30. It's a tough life, and they are often underappreciated. Of course, everybody thinks they make a ton of money and have a great life, but the truth is they're saddled with an incredible amount of student debt and make nowhere near the salary people think they do. And on top of that, they're often overworked and don't get the respect they deserve. The music video comes out next week, and of course it takes place in a hospital. So enjoy the new song tonight. Thank you for listening. I love you guys, and I'll see you and talk to you next week.
I decided to be a doctor when I was young and dumb, to help others in need and infuse their bodies with love. In training, my smile was eager. Days were long, but the years were short. Kept my white coat clean, did my best to hold down the fort. As a doctor, I played the hero, despite the constant failures. I worked all through the night, gifting hope and light. I honestly always tried to do my best, till the patient's eyes told me they were fine. I always wanted to be a doctor, removing tumors hits the spot. Don't try to hurt except when the pain comes back, and I have to do it all again. I escort people into wine, lighting them back out, but I'm clueless on how to prevent my own burnout. As a doctor, I played the hero, despite the constant failures. I worked all through the night, gifted hope and light. I honestly always tried to do my best, till the patient's eyes told me they were fine. I always wanted to be a doctor. As a doctor, it's not easy, no one gets what it's like, gets what it's like to hold a loaded gun. I played the hero, despite the constant failures. Worked all through the night, gifted hope and light. I honestly always tried to do my best, till the patient's eyes told me they were fine. I always wanted to be a doctor, not until the last kiss of the day is done do I feel the day's sting. Being so close to death changes both nothing and everything. It turns out as doctors need hope too. I might be a doctor, but I survive on your love too.
Thank you for listening to The Songwriter Show. To keep the momentum going, head over to www.songwritershow.com and join our free music community of artists, songwriters, and producers. That's www.songwritershow.com.